Hello, I'm Paul Taylor. Welcome to the CIO Interviews. Technology and IT are at the heart of most business activities these days. And CIOs, the Chief Information Officers of major companies, are at the core of that IT function. For the first of these interviews, I'm talking to Chris Perretta, the CIO of Boston-based State Street Bank.
I'm an engineer by training, electrical engineer, and I worked as an engineer in the defense industry for a few years with GE, and then I went back to school and I dabbled in medical engineering, and I joined a medical practice at that time, Arthur Andersen, and that was when really the big system integration practices started to take off. From there I entered the world of IT. From there I went to, after 12 years there, to General Electric, GE Capital at the time. Multiple roles there, and then on to State Street. So
GE Capital obviously got you into the financial technology area. Yeah.
That's right, and Accenture too, with very large implementations, and at the time, and I think what I took from there is just a deep appreciation for the engineering aspects of how systems get built, and how an appreciation for the fact that how we build things actually matter. And perhaps from the General Electric world, you kind of get that Six Sigma tinge or a viewpoint of really focusing on customer and working your way back from how the customer defines value and then how that maps into what you're doing.
So, I mean, what's the role of technology in a financial services organization like State Street?
Well, I'm a technology zealot, so I would say it's at its core. So, I mean, the physical manifestation of the product are the bits and bytes of the system, and obviously we provide a whole range of services to our clients, but it's instrumental. And I think the reason why State Street is such a great place to be as a technician is there's a deep appreciation for the difference the use of technology can make for our clients.
Do you get at board level, do you get the sort of support that...
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think, you know, we're undergoing a rather large investment in our technology footprint today, even in spite of the financial pressures the whole industry is under. And that really has the full support and oversight of our board of directors, who were really kind of adamant about saying, what's next?
What sort of issues, what sort of challenges do you see that can be addressed by technology or through technology?
Well, you know, I think now it's very interesting in financial services. A lot of our work is data centric. That is, we see a lot of opportunity to marry new processing techniques like private cloud, which basically, when you think about it, is providing an enormous amount of computing capacity, coupled with the huge amount of data that we have. You mentioned $24 trillion of assets. There's a lot of information that can really help customers, right? So, and sometimes if they're willing to share that data, they can really manage risk better or make better insight.
Is security something that keeps you awake?
Yeah, security is something that you never rest on. You know, I mean, you're up against different variations of threats that are of different levels of sophistication, and you have to be paranoid. Right? You're always trying to say, what's the next big thing, right? And you can never be complacent with saying, well, I have got that control in place, because there's a lot of people looking to bypass those kind of controls. So, but there's a lot of new technologies that help us, things like virtual desktops, things like, and we're making big investments in security frameworks that allow our different technology solutions to share that kind of security information, so you can lock down data much more securely than we have in the past.
I think you've also been in the forefront of what's called the consumerization of IT.
That's right.
You've actually encouraged the use of iPads.
That's right. No, that's right. We do have iPads app, and we see, you know, our overarching strategy technology is you should be able to interact with us with any device, anywhere, and any time. And that's our philosophy. That is virtual desktop that's behind a firewall, secured, but accessible through any device of your choosing.
You've been a CIO a long time.
Yep.
Is it a career that you'd recommend to your children?
You know, it is, in the sense that it's changing constantly, right? I mean, I think about CIOs, and I think I'm very proud of the organization at State Street as a very high-performing organization that's not afraid to even change. So I think the role of CIO is changing as technology becomes a bigger and a bigger part of our life. You know, I mean, you have to believe that the role of technology in our lives continues to grow exponentially. So the distinction between what's technology and what's business is getting kind of fuzzy. You know, being CIO means different things 10 years from now, and it's a very exciting area. And I think, you know, as a person who happens to live in the United States, we have to do more and more to get people into this field, because it's background that's so important to do anything now.
Chris, thank you very much indeed for your time.
My pleasure.